Baseball is more than a game. It's a stage where legends rise, where history is written in the crack of a bat and the roar of a crowd. Some players put up big numbers. Others change the way the game is played. Then there are the rare few, like Hammerin, who do both while carrying the weight of something far bigger than baseball. I've spent years playing and watching the game, talking to those who lived it, and seeing firsthand how baseball isn't just about what happens between the lines. It reflects who we are, what we believe in, and the barriers we choose to break. Aaron's story isn't just about home runs or records. It's about perseverance, dignity, and what it means to be truly great. He carried the hopes of a generation on his shoulders, and every time he stepped to the plate, he swung for more than just a number. Before he became a baseball legend, Hammerin was a kid in Mobile, Alabama, with nothing but a dream and a stickball bat. Like so many who grew up in the South during the 1930s and 40s, he didn't have much. Gloves were a luxury, proper baseballs even more rare. So he learned the game the hard way, hitting bottle caps with broomsticks, sharpening his reflexes without knowing that one day those quick hands would make history. His journey to the majors wasn't handed to him. He started with the Indianapolis Clowns of the Negro Leagues, a proving ground for some of the best ball players in history. The Negro Leagues weren't just an alternative to the majors. They were a showcase of raw talent, skill, and heart. Aaron's time there was short, but it was enough to catch the eye of big league scouts. The Boston Braves, soon to be Milwaukee and then Atlanta, saw something special, and in 1952 they signed him. He wasn't the loudest player in the clubhouse. He wasn't the flashiest player on the field. But from the moment he stepped onto a professional diamond, it was clear this was a player who let his bat do the talking. And it didn't take long for people to listen. Greatness isn't built on one swing, one season, or one headline. It's forged over time and the relentless pursuit of excellence, in showing up day after day, delivering when it matters, and letting the numbers speak for themselves. Hammerin didn't just arrive in the majors. He made sure everyone knew he belonged. His first full season with the Braves in 1954 was solid, but by 1957 he was unstoppable. That year, he led Milwaukee to a World Series title, hitting .322 with 44 home runs and 132 RBIs. He was shaping the future of the game. In an era dominated by big names, Aaron was quietly stacking up numbers that would one day leave them all behind. Consistency was his trademark. While others made headlines for towering home runs or wild personalities, Aaron was steady, dependable, a force at the plate who never seemed to fade. By the time he reached 3,000 hits, he had already smashed more than 500 home runs. And yet, the record that loomed largest was still out there, 714. Babe Ruth's home run record was sacred, untouchable, or so people thought. As Aaron closed in, the weight of history pressed down. Every swing, every step closer brought cheers from some and venom from others. But just like he had his whole career, Aaron kept his head down, his stance steady, and his focus sharp. The home run king was coming, whether the world was ready or not. Chasing a record is one thing. Chasing a record while facing death threats, hate mail, and a nation divided is something else entirely. Hammerin's pursuit of 715 home runs carried far more weight than numbers on the scoreboard. It was a battle against history, against prejudice, and against those who refused to see the game change. As he closed in on Babe Ruth's record, the letters poured in, some filled with admiration, others dripping with hatred. Threats against his life, his family, and anyone dared celebrate his achievement became routine. Security surrounded him everywhere he went. He read letters that wished him dead before he could reach 714. Some nights he slept with a gun nearby. Even as he took the field, the weight of it all sat on his shoulders. But Aaron never cracked. He never lashed out. He let his bat do the talking. And on April 8th, 1974, in front of a packed stadium in Atlanta, he swung at an Al Downing pitch and sent it sailing over the left field fence. 715, the number that rewrote history. As he rounded the bases, two young fans sprinted onto the field, running alongside him. For a brief moment, it was pure baseball, the kind that makes kids dream and crowds roar. That night meant more than a record. It proved that talent, perseverance, and grace under fire could rise above the worst the world had to offer. Aaron stepped up to the plate under impossible pressure and met the moment the same way he always had, with quiet confidence and an unshakable belief in himself. Hank Aaron's impact didn't end when he hung up his cleats. His influence stretched far beyond the batter's box, reaching into the front offices of Major League Baseball, into communities that needed a voice, and into the lives of young athletes chasing their own dreams. After his playing days, he stepped into a leadership role with the Atlanta Braves, helping shape the future of the game from behind the scenes. He worked to create opportunities for Black executives and front office personnel, pushing for the same fairness and inclusion he had fought for as a player. He understood that real change happens not just on the field, but in the rooms where decisions are made. Off the field, he poured his energy into helping the next generation. Through the Hank Aaron Chasing the Dream Foundation, he provided scholarships and financial aid to underprivileged kids with big aspirations, not just in baseball, but in education, music, science, and beyond. He believed that talent deserved a chance, no matter where it came from. His name will always be linked to home runs, but his true legacy lives in the doors he opened, the barriers he broke, and the countless lives he touched. Baseball gave him a platform. He used it to make sure others had a chance to stand where he once stood. Hank Aaron's numbers belong in the record books, but his story belongs to history. He racked up 3,771 hits and crushed 755 home runs and chased down the legend, all while carrying the weight of something far greater than baseball. His swing was smooth, his approach unshakable, but his true power came from the way he carried himself. Through the highs and the storms, he never backed down. He handled pressure with grace, let his bat answer every doubt, and used his influence to lift others. The fences he cleared were more than outfield walls. They were obstacles that had stood for far too long. Baseball will always remember the home runs, but his impact runs deeper. Every young player stepping onto the field with a dream in their heart is walking a path that Hank Aaron helped pave. His legacy lives on in the game today and in every fight for something bigger than the scoreboard. That's it for today's episode of Life in Motion. If you liked this, make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel and follow me on Instagram for more real talk on music, food, travel, and baseball. Both links are available in the description below.